Hey, Mr. Craig, what's up?
What's going on?
Ain't nothing, man.
It's just one of them days.
One of them days, huh? So you know what we here, right?
Oh yeah. they done let the bad man free. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
So you gotta think right now, I still owe 12 years because I was sentenced in 1999 to 2032. But I got a computation because I went and got my GED, diploma, college degree.
So all that effect in your time, so they give you like a good time and...
Yeah. So I had to put in for, for a computation. But they had to take me back in front of the board and go back over my jail experience to see if I was worthy of having my time cut.
So you free now, you free, man.
Oh yeah, because what I like about it is I put into 2022.
Yeah.
After they heard my story, they came back and they was like, we putting you in for immediate parole.
Damn.
And these cats let me go.
Wait, man, welcome to the free life.
Yeah. The only reason I'm still staying in Delaware is because my co-defendant is still locked up and he's putting in for his computation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm from East New York, CYPRESS Projects. We never leave a man behind. So we came out of town together to get money. I'm not leaving this town until he come with me. Damn. That's all it is.
So soon he out, y'all niggas out of here.
Oh yeah, we out. We out.
No, that's crazy, man. So, any good news on him though?
Yeah, he went to the board. They looked over his stuff. I made sure to get some people to write some good reviews for him and saying he got a job when he get out and where he can live and all that. So he good right now. We just gonna see what happens.
Oh, that's good, man. So
yeah, that's
we gotta take this stuff all the way back. You know what I mean? When Mr. Craig was in the cradle, in the womb. So we gotta take this little video all the way back from the start, man. So tell the people a little bit about yourself. As a early, like a New York, early-ish New York Craig.
Well, I'm born and raised in East New York.
Yeah.
I wasn't born in no Bed-Stuy, no Crown Heights, none of that, and moved to East New York. I'm born and raised in East New York. I am a child of East New York. And when I say that, I'm more than just CYPRESS Projects. And I explain that. But I used to live in the middle in CYPRESS Projects, Fountain and Center. And when my mom's had me, the ambulance ain't come in time. So I was actually born in 365 Fountain Avenue in CYPRESS Projects.
On the block, Lex?
No, it's a project.
So in the hall, in the building?
In the building.
Oh, wow.
In the apartment. I was born, so when the doctors and them came, they took me to the hospital after I was born. So I was actually born in CYPRESS Projects.
Wow.
So I was always a child of CYPRESS. But after a while, we had to move to the front. Now I'm gonna tell you, I know people don't understand CYPRESS, but that move right there may have saved my life or changed my life for the worse or better. I'm still here, so I don't know.
What do you mean move to the front? Like the front of the complex?
You got CYPRESS Projects is of I think it's 30 buildings. It goes from Fountain through Center to Euclid, and from Euclid all the way down to Linden Boulevard, from Linden Boulevard back down to Fountain and back around. That's the radius. Inside CYPRESS, you got the front, you got set aside, you got the hill, you got they call it the bus buildings because it's this metal bus in front of there we used to go play on as kids. But after a while they started calling it Tut building, King Tut building, because Tut from back there. And then you got the far back. We used to call that the Batman slide because they the only ones that got a slide back there that you can go in and slide down.
That's a kid.
Yeah. Then people start calling it the milk jug because across the street it was a store called the Milk Jug for them across Linden Boulevard. So it was different names over time, but we was always the front. And you know, some people always got it confused when they was talking about set-aside cats, and I've been shot at a lot because they was after set-aside cats and not cats from the front, thinking that's the front. But no here, no there.
So we want to get back a little bit. We're gonna keep it in that area. So as a child growing up, how was your childhood like?
Oh, miss. I was born BC.
BC.
BC is before crack.
Before crack, wow.
And you know, some of these kids you try to explain to them, especially in jail, about being born BC, and they actually don't understand it. So I explained to them that me coming up, I went to PS 72, I went to IS 218 right across the street from the projects, and I went to Franklin K. Lane for 6 months. But coming up in the projects before crack, and I missed the dope era because I'm born in 1972.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm coming up, I'm like 77 when I start really noticing stuff. And everybody in that project was family. Everybody. When you came outside, I don't know what went on in the 60s and early 70s, but it was so many kids in this project. It was crazy. And it seemed like you had everybody to play with. But the older people actually played with us. So we'll play Coco Levia, Red Rover, all that in the grass. We played everything. Now after a while, you had some of them from like 72 to 18, they start graduating.
Yeah.
That would be my sister age, because I got a sister and 2 brothers. So it's like around their age bracket, they start graduating and all that. So then it was just us. But you know, the stuff we did was we flipped on mattresses. We'd bring them in the project, flip on mattresses. I rode bikes like I was riding for BMX. I had every kind of bike you could think of. But I want to take it back.
You had a well family structure.
Oh yeah, my father was there, my mother was there. My father drove tractor trailers. My mother was a stay-at-home mother.
Yeah.
We still snuck on the cheese line. Everybody in that project was on the cheese line. So don't let nobody fool you back in the 70s. So about I was going to. Everybody, family members on that cheese line, so it wasn't no embarrassment. Because people like, yo, go get that free cheese. Even though when you put it on bread, you couldn't melt it. That was crazy. You couldn't even melt this thing. So, coming up as a child, I had fun. And I had them diehard friends. My boy Jack, which is Johnny Champion, that was my boy. Pee-wee, Butch, his brother, that's my actual mentor that I came up watching and wanted to be like. But stuff started changing for me around 80.
But how old are you there at that time, 80?
I'm 8.
You're 8 years old.
Yeah.
So he started coming outside more now, you know, by yourself now. So.
And what my mom would do was, she'd have certain people in the area watch me.
Oh, yeah.
Because my brothers and sisters, they run around wherever they running. And so she'd ask somebody to watch me. Now, I think the worst thing she ever did, and this is the person that put me on to what I became good at. Well, at least I thought that's all I was good at.
Yeah.
His name was John Wayne Farmer. And he used to watch me. So what he did one time is, he like, yo, let's go to TSS. Now TSS is like a, what would that be today? That would be like a Walmart back then. It was over by Pink Houses, because when you cross out our projects, you got another project across the street called Pink Houses. And then across from Pink Houses is Plaza. That's another project. I wouldn't call them a projects. They was more complex, and we always looked at them like the uppity dudes, because of how their buildings were structured and all that. And I don't even think they took welfare people in there.
Yeah.
So we always looked at them different. But he took me to TSS. TSS is actually a movie theater now.
Yeah. Still the same place.
Still the same place, but it's a movie theater now. But he took me to TSS. So when we in TSS, we walking around, we go downstairs because the toys was downstairs. So he took me downstairs, and we looking at different Star Wars men. And he like, yo, you like these? I'm like, yeah. He like, alright. So he popped the pack open, took the Star Wars man, put them in my sleeve.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, yo, what you want me to do? It's like, man, I got you, come on. So when we walk up to the front, now when you going out the front of TSS, it's guards lined up at the door. And they'll stop whoever they want to stop. So he said, yo, listen, this is what you do. When the next family come out, walk with them. So I'm like, all right, cool. So next family came out. I walked with them and went right out into the parking lot and kept walking. He came behind me. He pulled the men out. He like, yo. I'm like, yo, I'm messed up. I never stole nothing before. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, I got Star Wars men. So he like, no, we got Star Wars men.
How old is he doing? He's like more like...
Yeah, he, let me see. He gotta be,
at that time.
He's my middle brother's age, so he gotta be, if I'm 8, he had to be 14, 15, somewhere in there.
He was a child too himself.
Yeah. He was like 14, 15. So we take the men, we cross the street, and we hit him by Plaza. Go back in the store. We did this like 6, 7 times coming in and out. I don't know how these guards didn't stop me. I had the same beat up coat on. So when we come back to park, I got mad toys. I'm like, yo, I came up. And my mom didn't buy me that many toys. Christmas came, we had the best Christmases you can ever imagine. But she didn't buy me many toys regularly. So that's when it hit me. When I'm sitting in my room, I got these men stashed because I don't want nobody to see them there because they're going to be like, where you get them from? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I got all these toys that easy. So the next day, I came up with the scheme. And this is when my scheming brain started. I said, yo, I know how to do this. I took them outside because they was brand new.
Yeah.
And I buried them in the dirt. Went on and played. I think we was catching bees that day. So we catching bees in the bottle and all that. See who catch the most bees. Then came back. They was all dirty and all that. So by the time I brought them back in the house, my mom was like, where you get these toys from? Oh, I borrowed them from Johnny. She like, all right. And she don't care.
She had no clue. Though.
Yeah, so she had no clue. Yeah. Nah. So, you know, that went on for a while. Now, 2 things happened that stopped me from stealing from TSS. Well, let me back it up. We brought in more people.
Oh, you brought more crew.
We brought in more people because my peoples came in. So we brought in more people, and we got caught and took up in that office in TSS, and they threatening you and stuff, and parents had to come get you. So when my sister got me, she like, you gonna get it. So she took me back home, and I got the whipping of my life. The whipping of my life for that. But I think everybody did.
So
but that didn't stop me.
It planted a seed though.
Yeah.
Planted a seed.
It planted a seed that yo don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
That's what that taught me when I got that whipping. Do not get caught. So what happened was later on, she found out I was with him, so I couldn't mess with him for a while. Yeah. So one day he seen me, he was like, yo, TSS? So I'm like, all right. We went there, we racked up. I'm talking about, we took trucks and everything. Now, we took him across the street and hit him by Plaza. We got a lot of stuff. We go back and things wasn't looking right, so I didn't take nothing. Lucky I didn't, because when I came out, a guard stopped me. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we get away. We go across the street, all our stuff missing.
So
somebody was watching us when we were stashing it. Yeah. All our stuff that was over there was missing.
So you got robbed.
That hurt. I'm talking about, that's the first time for me stealing something broke my heart, because I got robbed. Oh, wow. So right then I'm like, yo, I'm stopping. I'm not messing with this. And I'm a kid, but this is what's going through my head. I'm like, yo, stop, I ain't mess with this. Then the cat next door, Sean. This was it. This one I never stole from TSS again. The cat from next door, Sean, wanted to go with us. To me, Sean wasn't built like that. Sean wasn't a hangout cat and all that. He's older. He's weighing age, but he's not a hangout cat. So he want to go. And I'm like, what he coming for? It just bugged me out that he's coming. And this is his first time coming. So we go to TSS. We stealing some stuff. And we come out. And when you walk out of TSS and you was walking down, used to be a liquor store in the corner. Yeah. So when we walked down to the liquor store, we heard somebody yell. We thought it was a guard. We start running. So now we run across the street. Instead of going to Pink Houses, we went on the outside of Pink House on Linden Boulevard. We start running across the boulevard. As we run across the boulevard, I got to cross, Wayne got to cross. It's a car that's in the third lane, because it's a big boulevard, 3-lane boulevard. It's a car in the third lane. Sean comes running. It's a van in the third lane. Sean comes running past the van. A car is coming. Ooh. Hit him. I ain't never in my life seen nothing like that. It hit him. I seen his shoes go off. I seen him go up in the air. And I'm standing there like, yo. He came down, hit the ground. Other cars is skeeting. And I'm thinking they gonna hit him. Everybody start jumping out their cars. I'm scared to walk in the street. I go to look, it's blood everywhere. I'm out. Now he's screaming, get my mother. I'm out. So I runs back home, runs in the house, don't tell nobody nothing. Later for Wayne, none of them, my sister, I told nobody nothing. Just sat in the house for 2 days. My mom's asking me, you ain't on punishment, why you ain't going out? I'm good.
I'll you had that stuff in your mind.
I'm like,
if you said something, you're going to get in trouble too.
And yeah. And to see something like that was traumatizing. So, I heard he was out the hospital, so I'm outside in the grass. This dude, this nigga had the audacity to want to fight me because I ain't run home and tell his mama. Wayne stayed with him. Yeah. Now that I'm older, and I've used young cats to do some stuff. Ain't no way I'm looking at some young dude like, yo, you was supposed to do this, that, and the third. So he's limping towards me with the patches on his head and all that, trying to fight me. And he's an older dude. So I'm just backing up from him. And everybody like, yo, chill, Sean, chill. Now, I held it against him. Because one day I was sitting in the car, I seen him when he was older. I was sitting in the car. I was like, y'all should hurt this dude. But he ain't do nothing to me, but it was just that, yo, I had the power now once I was over. But anyway, so I stopped doing the TSS thing. That thing was out. So,
So at that time, was in like you see you were 8, right? So you were in elementary, like middle.
Yeah.
Middle school, going up to a.
Yeah, because
elementary going up to middle school at that time.
In my school, how the school is built is that my school is only 5 blocks away from CYPRESS on Berman and Blake. So everybody in my project mostly went to my school. Everybody on them side blocks going up went to my school.
So you knew everybody.
I knew everybody. And I explained this why some people in CYPRESS didn't know everybody, but I did. But going to that school, I became a bully. And Lewis and Jerome Scanterbury, if y'all watching, I apologize. But they was my 2 victims every day. But Jerome Scanterbury was not a punk. He was not a punk. I just knew how to get him. Now Lewis, you had to push him because he was a fat dude, so I stayed messing with him because he was fat. We all seen each other when we was older because we came up through the school together. Because that went from kindergarten to 6th grade. So we went all the way up together. But I do know one thing that I learned from that. Fear lasts longer than love. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, I learned that later on in life when I seen a lot of cats that I bullied. And they were so scared, but they wanted to do something. But they knew it was trauma. They was traumatized from what I did as a kid.
From kids all the way to adults who still afraid, still had that fear in their mind. Like,
yeah, so that's why when I heard somebody say, I think it was Fat Joe. I heard him say I like fear because fear lasts longer. So anyway, in school I was a bully. I was doing different stuff in school. Off days I started breaking into the school just to run around. We'd go up there, break into the school, 72, run around that thing, run out to school and all that. Cops come, alarms going on.
So did you graduate high school or?
Oh, I graduated from 72, 6th grade.
6th grade.
But by the time I graduated, I think I had stole over 60 bikes.
Damn.
Because I had started riding bikes. And this is what happened. At the time, my moms and pops had got into it. So my pops was out. And he gave me this bike. That was the last thing he ever gave me to. He gave me this bike. It was glittered blue, had the tassels off the side. This thing was pretty. Ain't nobody had this bike. And my grandmother was in the old folks home on the other side of Plaza. So I would always ride to go see her back and forth. Now, to my mother's credit, she always said, stop taking that bike everywhere. So this was started this thing. I go see my grandmother, kick it with her, go to McDonald's, bring her what she wanted. I'm riding back on the bike. Cat asks me, I'm on the side of Pink Houses on Linden Boulevard. Cat asked me for the time. As soon as I looked in his face, I could tell. I go to pull off on the bike, he grabbed the handlebars, he was like, yo, get the fuck off the bike before I fucking kill you.
Damn.
So I gets off the bike. And he takes off on my bike. People at the bus stop and everything watching. And I always remember that. You had all these people at that bus stop watching.
Ain't do nothing.
Ain't do nothing. He rolled past him. And he was a bigger dude on my bike. Rolled past him, but I seen him turn in past CYPRESS. So I'm like, oh, he messed up. So I'm cutting through CYPRESS to try to get to him. But I ain't never see him. Now this is where the trauma for me came in. I go upstairs. I'm upset, my bike going. I see my mother. She in the kitchen talking on the phone. So she said, what's wrong with you? I said, yo, somebody just stole my bike. She said, I told you about riding that bike everywhere. And turned around and kept talking on the phone.
Damn.
That bike, she didn't know what that bike meant to me, though. That bike, she didn't know what that bike meant to me.
But you know what I mean? You need that transportation to move around in Cyrus, right?
Nah, it was more that my pops gave it to me.
Oh, your pops gave it to you, so
Yeah.
like something I mean.
And he wasn't around no more. And my pops always took care of us, and my pops always made me feel safe when I was in the project.
Oh yeah? Did he pass away at that time though?
Nah, they got into it, so he had to move out.
Uh,
So, that's when it started. That's when my actual robbery started, and I started recruiting cash. And I had stole a GT Performer. And for people that don't know, and some cats watch might know, this GT Performer is worth $600. So the GT Performer with the mag wheels and all that. I come up in the project, it was like me pulling up in a Bentley. Everybody was like, yo, look at this bike, yo. That was number 2 thing I liked. That feeling of that. Yo,
Everybody.
Look at this bike, yo. Boom. Now, it's factors going on in the middle. You had the 18 cats. See, by the projects being split up, in my section, you had the 18. Older dudes. They ran the projects. And to me, from knowing what I know now, they ran it right. Because even when they got in shootouts, and believe me, to this day, me and my boys used to talk about this all the time because we did not know how they knew. They would go around, because all the women be out on the benches and stuff and all that. They would go around and tell all the women to go upstairs. And these women knew. So when I look back, even my mom's, let me see, my mom's had me when she was 30. When they was clearing them benches, she was like 35, 37 and all that. So they were all clear off the benches. And we all knew what was going to go on. Next thing you know, a shootout happens.
damn.
And that was crazy. And we all in the windows. Everybody in the windows, a shootout happened. But that's how the 18 was. But at first they were selling coke. So you would see Corvettes and stuff pull out on Fountain Avenue, white boys running in and out and all this, that, and third. But when they switched to crack, it's you know, I try to tell people, it's hard to explain this.
You said crack came in the 80s, right? So like
It came 84.
84. How old are you
But-
at that time though? You were 8?
14.
14. So you know everything that's going on around you. Now you got moved.
Yeah, we getting it in. We getting it in. I think at this time I'm robbing on the train.
Damn,
I stayed
14.
on the A train. I stayed on the A train. We robbed on the A train. Anything between Liberty train station to Grant, that's us.
Yeah.
That's East New York. If we get on that train and you trying to get to Queens with your chain on or that leather jacket or whatever, we took that. Take that off. We even jumped on the J train sometimes. That's why I was crazy when Jay-Z mentioned that dudes from East New York was robbing on the J train. I was like, yo, let me figure out how we got him, man. But I was robbing heavy on the A train at that time, and I used to go out by myself sometimes and try to catch. I called them stragglers. You catch somebody walking from the train station by themselves or whatever, and just catch them. No women.
No women.
No women. I never liked that because my mom's had a pocketbook snatched in the 70s, so I never liked that. And there was one cat that snatched a pocketbook. I ain't talked to him to this day. Because he snatched that pocketbook.
I'm going to ask you this question. When you're on the train going through your robbery at the age of 14, right? What do you look for? Like, how you know that person got money? That you going to get
first, you got to remember, I'm 14 and kind of skinny.
Yeah.
So I'm dead set. So you got to look for soft targets.
Yeah.
So what I did was, before I graduated, was I would go to Tony's store, which was across the street, Fountain Avenue. I would go get a fake gun, either the silver one or the black one. Now, on these guns, they had the little red thing in the front. So either I would drill them off or cut them off or whatever. Silver guns, I might paint it on black. Because I don't hold it up, I keep it down. So you just see, yo, he got a 38 or whatever. And that's how I started. I started with fake guns. Rob people, I look for soft targets. Like, yo, if I got to tussle with him, I can get away with that. Or I could tell this man gonna be scared to death. Plus, you had all these Death Wish movies going on and all that, and the train station was crazy. So people knew you ride at your own risk. The 75th precinct wasn't in the train station yet; they was above ground. So you had transit cops. So once you run out the train station, half of the time transit cops would stop, and transit cops and the street cops wasn't on the same frequency. So they couldn't call them and be like, yo, he just ran out of train station on Euclid and he's was. So we all knew that. One time, I think, we stole, we robbed cats for so many coats, it was ridiculous. I think I had like 7 or 8 V-bombers, leather V-bombers. I was selling them for $50 a pops in the projects. Yeah. But at the time, I had graduated from bikes and stuff. And the 18 switched from coke to crack.
That's in the 84.
Yeah, this changes everything. Even the music changed. Everything changed then. And it's hard to explain, but you can actually feel the change. Everything changed. They started getting more money, and they started, to me, getting reckless. From being older, and you know, I ran some stuff, they started getting reckless once they started getting more money. Mess with crack.
They were using it. They probably were using it too.
Probably was. I don't think so. I knew a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. Yeah, because they came up as kids with us too.
Oh yeah. Everybody
so the ones under them, we knew them all. We used to play together. A lot of them became 5%ers, and I won't disrespect them and call them by their real names because I'm gonna call this one by his real name. Nah. He still got me traumatized, so I can call him by his name. But his name's Supreme.
Supreme.
Yeah, and I knew his real name. And he was talking slick one day. And I called him by his real name. And he slapped the shit out of me.
Damn.
He said, yo, don't you ever call me by that. My name's Supreme, Allah, Matic, whatever.
You talking about Supreme locked up right now, though?
No. This is different Supreme. Supreme on the 18. Yeah. So, ever since then, when it came to Latif, called him Latif. Never thought of disrespecting Arif. That was like, Arif was like the coolest older dude amongst all of them. And he was the one that was getting them all to become 5%. And back in them days, we used to sit in a circle, young cats on the bench. They used to be in a circle in their cipher. Yeah. And they had to recite their stuff and all that. And I've seen Arif slap a cat in that cipher because he didn't remember what he was supposed to recite. Right then I knew I ain't want to be a 5%er. Nah, ain't nobody put their hands on me like that. Nah, I don't want to be no 5%er.